Today I wanted to talk about traveling for hockey and very specifically traveling on an airplane for hockey, although some of this does apply to traveling in a car as well. If you're brand new to hockey, this may not apply to you yet, but eventually you're going to start thinking about playing in tournaments, and to do that, sometimes you have to travel. Plus, it's a really good excuse to travel is to play hockey. So I wanted to give you some of the airline rules and other things that you can do. Number one, if you're traveling on an airplane for hockey, you will be checking your bag. Don't try to get away with putting your hockey bag as a carry-on. Not only is your hockey bag going to be bigger than the dimensions of any sort of airplane compartment, but you also have things like skates in there, which are not going to get past the TSA. So just understand that if you are going to be bringing your hockey bag on an airplane, it will be checked baggage. There are two ways that you can get around the fee though, or at least two ways. If you have mileage and stuff, sometimes they'll waive those fees for you. But the two things I recommend, number one, fly Southwest. I'm not the biggest fan of Southwest necessarily, but they do have free baggage. So sometimes if we're going like to Vegas for a tournament or something, we will very specifically try to fly Southwest because each of you gets 2 bags free. So your hockey bag will count as one of those. Number two, I would never recommend anybody take out credit because everybody's in a different place, but I personally take out credit cards of the different airlines, and you don't even have to use them, but just by owning them, you actually get free luggage. So I do that. I don't know the last time I paid for luggage because I do have those credit cards. So those are some options. You can a lot of times get around those luggage fees if you kind of know how to do it. Number two, this may be the most important part, is hockey sticks fly free. Sort of. Actually, they don't fly free by themselves, but what it is your bag on most airlines plus your hockey sticks count as one piece of luggage. So like 2 bags on Southwest fly free, right? But it's actually your hockey bag and your sticks count as your first piece of luggage, and then you can check another piece of luggage. And that is the same for pretty much every US airline. I was doing research on some out of the country and it's slightly different for some of them, but most of them will have your bag and your sticks as one piece of luggage. So just keep that in mind. One thing to remember though is that you do want to either tape your hockey sticks together, which I don't necessarily recommend because you never know what's going to happen to them, but you can also buy a hockey stick bag. I have one right now that holds 3 sticks. So when we travel, we just put our 3 sticks in there and it's great. We don't each have to have our own hockey stick bag. Or you can just buy one for 2 and then you each have one, or you could bring 2 sticks. So that is what I recommend. Definitely invest in a hockey stick bag. They're not very much. I think I bought mine for like $12 off Pure Hockey or something. So that is really important. If you're traveling though, you definitely want to make sure that your sticks are not going to get damaged. All right, my next tip is before you go anywhere, make sure you check the rules of the tournament or the event you're playing in. Because sometimes they have certain rules, like you need to have a face mask or a half shield or something like that. We went to a tournament in Iceland where you needed at least a half shield. You couldn't have a full open face. So we had to get a new type of helmet because some people in my household don't play with a shield. So just make sure you're checking the rules. Some people don't like to travel with their shoulder pads, but some tournaments will require shoulder pads, things like that. Just make sure you're checking the rules before you go because you don't want to get there and then not have the proper equipment. There are a lot of places that are going to have pro shops nearby, but just so you know, you want to make sure that you know exactly what is expected of you before you get there and before you're packing. Okay, people are going to have different opinions on this. I know this is kind of controversial, but I highly recommend if you are traveling for hockey to buy a roller bag. This one doesn't look like it, but it is actually, turn it the right way. It is actually a roller bag and it is not very big. So I got this this is my travel hockey bag, although I do use it a lot of the times as my normal hockey bag now because it's so small and compact. The downside obviously is that there's no pockets inside. It's just one big pocket. But if you're traveling for hockey, you never know how far you're going to have to walk through an airport, through a town. We're going on a trip in a couple months where we're going to be dropped off, but it's not going to be right in front of our hotel. And who knows how far we have to walk. I know that some people think it's silly to have a roller bag, but if you are actually traveling, especially if it's out of the country or to a town that you don't know, I highly recommend just getting a bag just for that trip. You're not going to see anybody you know. It's totally fine. They won't make fun of you. And get a roller bag. All right, I kind of talked about this in my other video, which I will of course link to this, but I also highly recommend investing in packing cubes. I have so many different kinds of packing cubes here. And the point of this is not only that this has no actual pockets on the inside so you can organize yourself, but secondly, so you don't have to bring another bag. For me, I pack all of my actual clothes in packing cubes, and then I put them in my hockey bag. So then I get to the hotel and I just take the packing cubes out. And then I don't have to bring another suitcase, because who cares what you're wearing when you're at a hockey tournament, right? So I put my makeup, I put my packing cubes with all my clothes in it in my hockey bag, and then I'm only bringing that one bag, plus obviously my stick bag as well, to any time I do any sort of travel hockey. So how big can your travel hockey bag be for an airplane? A lot of the American airlines actually don't say anything about dimensions. They mostly just say you cannot have it over 50 pounds, which I don't know if you've ever gotten a suitcase over 50 pounds. I travel a lot and I've never gotten one over 50 pounds. So unless you're putting everything you own in this bag, you're probably gonna be okay. It's probably not gonna be over 50 pounds. Check for pucks, because pucks will sometimes make it over. But I did find a couple dimensions for different airlines in terms of dimensions. And these are all airlines that are not in the US, but one of them I found is 35 inches by 30 inches by 18 inches. So I just wanna show you. So 35 inches would be width. So this one is 28. So this one is 7 inches shorter than the dimensions they gave us. So it would be pretty wide. Let's see, by 30, I think that would be here. This one is just about 21. And then this would be 18. This one's just about 14. So just so you know, the dimensions they give you are actually pretty big. Like this bag, it's not huge, but it's not tiny. And it is actually quite a bit smaller than the dimensions that different airlines are going to be giving you. So if you're worried about your baggage being too large, it's probably not going to be, unless you have a giant bag that you're stuffing everything into. Your sticks are going to be oversized luggage. This sometimes comes out in the carousel as oversized luggage as well. Not always. I've seen it both ways. Sometimes because it's kind of with the sticks, they'll put both of them there. But know that there's nothing wrong with packing a hockey bag and bringing it as your luggage when you are traveling. So let me know if you have any questions about this. I do have a full list on my website of all the major airlines and exactly what their rules are in terms of packing hockey bags. So I will link that below as well, but let me know if you have any questions. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and like, and let me know if you have any other ideas for videos coming up in the future.